Hey mamas, welcome to day 4 of the fall 2024 Postpartum Fitness Challenge. So we're progressing today through a mobility workout that's going to help fuel the next few days of workouts and help us kind of wind down and relieve some tension and soreness from the last couple days. So we're going to go ahead and get started on our mat. You don't need any equipment today. Same format, 50 seconds work, 10 seconds rest, 10 minutes. So bring your hands under your shoulders, knees under hips. We're going to begin with a downward dog. So let's push those heels up and back. Push the hands into the floor and just extend through the back body. You're going to feel tight, at least I always do, trying to get those heels toward the floor. My calves, hamstrings are tight. So if you want, you can lift up onto the toes for a couple, kind of rock the heels up and down, pedal the feet. This workout today is going to be less precise, more go with the flow. So just feel free to relax and do what works for you. Maybe you spend more time in some of the movements than others. Mobility is so important, although sometimes it doesn't feel like a traditional workout. It's so important to help your body recover and then repair to fuel your future workouts as well. All right, we're going to move on now to a T-spine rotation. So let's drop the knees under the hips, hands under shoulders. We're going to take that front arm and we're going to rotate to the front, like fingers to temples, and then tuck that elbow to the back of the room. So we're rotating through the thoracic spine. So open up to the front. You can rotate your hips a bit. This one again is more fluid, and then tuck under. So whatever feels good here, and you're going to find sometimes you're more flexible, sometimes you're feeling a little more tense, that upper back feels tight. This is a really great movement for that. So we're just tucking that elbow under, rotating, and making sure we engage that core too as we're rotating and twisting. Use that breath as you twist to the back of the room. That's going to help fire that deep core and keep those obliques working as well. So another side benefit, added benefit to this is we're working the core. Okay, we're going to do the same thing other side. So bring the hands back under the hips, knees under, or hands back under shoulders, knees back under hips. You know what I meant. So same thing other side, open to the front and then to the back. You'll find one side has a little bit more flexibility, mobility than the other. That's totally normal, but we do things like this to kind of even out that asymmetry that is always going to be there to a degree, but the more you can work on promoting muscle symmetry, the better, because it's going to help prevent injury. That's the main thing. But it's also going to give you just a more functional everyday life, and then for workouts as well. Using that breath, just a few more seconds here. Try to work that range of motion a little bit more as we get toward the end of this set. If you can get a little more rotation. All right, now we've got a deep lunge rock. So we're going to bring that front leg forward and start here. So front leg comes forward, hands are both on the inside of the foot. And we're going to just kind of play with this. We're going to rock forward and back, extending that front leg, keeping the foot on the floor. You can lift the toes if you want. Again, this is more fluid, so less about being perfect, but you can keep toes down or up, just kind of moving through the motion. So here we're focusing on kind of pushing this knee over the toes, pushing the back hip toward the floor. And then as we rock back, we're focusing on lengthening this hamstring, kind of opening up more of the posterior chain here. You can lift the heel if you want, or the toes rather, if you want. Come on to the heel. Hands are staying down, but if you want to, you can use a hand to kind of prop yourself, but you don't want to force anything. You don't want to push that leg toward the floor. It's not necessarily about being flexible or even being perfectly straight. I have a really hard time straightening my leg, so don't worry about that. Okay, now we're going to take that same leg forward, so keep it there, and then we're going to rotate toward the front of the room. So taking that arm up, stacking the arm from bottom wrist to top wrist, and then placing that hand back down, and then we're gonna go to the back side. Opening the back arm, stacking bottom to top wrist, back down. So hands are still on the inside of the foot, but we're alternating arms. This one's really great for those hip flexors and also thoracic spine, more thoracic spine mobility. Can't get enough of that because postpartum especially, our posture is just really compromised by the demands of pregnancy, postpartum. So we cannot get enough of posture work here. Good work. Okay, we're going to do that same series on the other side. So starting with that deep lunge with the rocking forward and back, and then we're going to go to the deep lunge rotation. So hands on the inside of the foot. We're going to rock it forward and then take it back. Whew, this side feels tighter than the other one, which again, it's good to kind of be aware of that. Maybe one side's tighter than the other. Typically, for me, it's this hip is tighter, so I'm going to feel that more. This hamstring is tighter, so I'm going to feel that more. So just having that body awareness to know. And a lot of that's going to be influenced by how you carry your baby, nurse your baby, all the things. And typically we have a dominant side that we do all of those things on, and typically it's the same side. So it's really good to switch that up as much as you can, switching up how you hold your baby and nurse your baby, rock your baby, doing all the things. As hard as it is, I know I definitely had my preferred side. But if you can do that, that will help with those muscle imbalances. Okay, deep lunge rotation. So this time we're gonna go to the back of the room first, lift that arm, reach, really lengthen the arm, and just take it slow here. You don't have to move quickly through it. Just try to really get that extra little reach and range of motion to open up that back, open up the hip flexors. This one, it might be a little bit sticky at first. Feel just kind of difficult to execute, but after you're done, just the work you put in here, you're gonna feel so much lighter. That tension in the back and shoulders, hips is gonna feel so much better. And rest. Okay, now we're gonna go to a 90-90 hip opener. Now this one's kind of tricky because I'm gonna ask you not to use your hands and just to do your lower body, which is gonna take a little bit of coordination. So what you wanna do here, I showed you that from the front, I'm gonna show you now from the side. So you've got feet in a Z-sit, 90-90 position, and you're gonna take them and switch to the other side without using your hands. So you can see I'm moving my knees upward, feet go down, and then I fold them across to the other side. So it's a little bit challenging, and to figure out what you want to do with your hands, that is up to you. I don't even know, but I don't want you to do this because that makes it so much easier, right? If you can do it without your hands, you are literally just using your hips to create that momentum. If you can't get this one on the first try, don't sweat it. You can use your hand, try one hand. If you need both, that's okay. It's not totally ineffective if you use your hands, but I want you to try to use your hips only so you use your core. Okay, that one's over. That is the most awkward one, but trust me, it is so good for hip mobility if you can kind of progress and get the hang of it, which you will. Just take some time. Okay, frog stretch. So what you're gonna do is take your knees really wide, heels behind your knees and feet flexed. Start to ease your way down. Now, if your inner thighs are really tight, you might start up here a little bit higher in the stretch. If you can, you'll come down to your forearms, and just you can rest your head on your forearms or your hands or whatever you want to do. I have a mic, so I'm not going to push my face all the way to the ground, but if you're ready for it, you can go ahead and take the arms down all the way to the ground. You can lay the chest on the ground. Your head, again, can be on the ground, whatever feels good for you. The goal is just to kind of gently open the inner thighs. So you don't have to force anything. If you don't feel like you have the flexibility or it's just too intense right away, don't feel like you have to go all the way down. All right, last thing we're gonna do is a child's pose. So you're gonna open the knees, toes together, push your butt back toward your heels, and just take a deep breath. Just let it all out. I like to just think about, where am I holding tension here? Try to let that go. If it's in your forehead, your jaw, your neck, fingertips even, and toes if you're clenching those. Just anything you might be hanging on to, try to just release it here. This is kind of your reset. You probably need longer than 50 seconds to have a reset, but we'll take what we can get, right? In fact, I think I just heard my daughter yelling for me. So after this, I'm going to go attend to my motherly duties. So let this workout be one that fuels you to go about the rest of your day with joy and peace. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, that was day 4. We've got more to come with day 5 and the next 2 weeks. Let me know what you guys are thinking so far, what you've enjoyed about the series, and I'll see you back here tomorrow.